Good evening, everyone. I can see Swai sir also is connected. Very senior CAETians. Namaskar to everyone. I think I will be sharing a PowerPoint presentation which I have made. Few slides. I thought that few students will be joining, so it was for them. But then the topic is on food waste utilization, and then it is the other part has been added by our senior to support the circular bioeconomy. So for that part, I think Mahendra, are you here? Mahendra, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
So for some industrial processes, I think because he is right now working on number of projects. So I also requested him to join so that the discussion can be fruitful. The basic objective of joining or agreeing to this presentation, even though many seniors are there, the basic objective or interest was to learn actually. So let me now please allow to share the screen so that we can discuss. So this is
there is the green button at the bottom, share screen.
Yeah, yes, I know that, but my PPT is not, I'm not able to see the PPT. So before I make my presentation, so let me make a mention that all these things actually, whatever I'll be discussing today, major part of it is database, and I have followed. Sir, dekha jauchi?
Yeah. Just make it.
I have
presentation mode.
Presentation.
Yeah, at the bottom, just make it presentation mode.
And slideshow, na?
Yeah, slideshow.
Yeah. Now is it all right?
Madam, ठीक है.
Okay. So I did bit of review work, or rather referred to some of the database company, those who have worked on it along with FAO. I will be giving some information that is given by KPMG, that database company, then FAO, and recently we in 2021 probably UN environmental program, that they have gone for a lot of review work, and they have collected data which is actually not matching to the previous one. So we'll be having few mismatching data if somebody knows already, but I have tried my level best to give the latest data. So let me tell you that this food waste, while discussing this, I will be discussing what is food waste. Of course, all of us we know, and why at all that has become so important these days, and what are its impact or implications for which the economy has has been connected to it, and what are the impacts not only as a form of a waste but other environmental wastage and all those things. And finally, the major thing actually, what I have not written in my topic, but challenges in that, how food waste should be utilized so that we can support circular bioeconomy, and what are the challenges. If things are all fine, then by now we would have gone for the applications or implementations in a large scale, but we have not been able to do that. So what are the challenges? And I think during the discussion of these challenges, I'll request seniors to have a very fruitful discussion from everyone, because I look forward to learn something in this session today. So initially, FAO has defined food loss and waste in two different terms. Loss, when we generally think that both are same, maybe for students particularly. Food loss, they are considering as per the definition of FAO and then UN environmental program, how they have defined. Food loss actually starts from the farm stage, that means the production stage, up to the processing till retail, not including retail, excluding retail, up to retail. Then whatever loss will be there or wastage will be there, that will be termed as food loss. And the rest, that means from retail and the other things, consumers mostly, which is the major part, that will be called as food waste. That's how they have defined, and they have given some data. So that way the numbers are really very staggering. We have so across the globe, we have 14% of world's food valued 400 billion US dollars lost per annum. The number is very, very high. Then as per the UN, the previous one, global data, they have given from production up to the retail, excluding retail. Then from retail plus consumption, we have food waste. And that is about 931 million tons, about 17% of the food available. That is a lost component. We call that as food waste. And we can see this from this figure, that household waste is 61%. Out of this food waste, total food waste, 61% household, the major thing. And during food service, that means distribution and those services, about 26%. And at retail, it is 13%. And we can see that there is one, they call that as food waste index. Like we have hunger index and other index, that is given in terms of per capita per annum. So that for global value, they are saying as 121 kilogram per person or per capita per year. And this I am giving you so that we can compare that value with that of India. And total food available from retail up to the consumption, they say that it is about 5.3 billion tons, and the percentage waste is 931 million tons, so about 17% of the available food that is getting wasted. Then coming to the domestic India, then we have 50 kg. The global scenario is 121, but we have in India, it is 50 kg per person per year. And the total value of food wastage in India in terms of money, it is about 92,000 crores per annum. So many projects can be implemented out of this amount of money. Then the one comparison, that India wastes more fruits and vegetables than entire UK consumes, and more grains than Australia produces. So these numbers and these data actually is very, very depressing. But even then we have these values. And but in spite of this much of wastage, we have every fourth hungry person worldwide is an Indian, and about 190 million Indians remain undernourished. So this is, with this data, we can really have a vision that how much food is getting wasted and why that has become a buzzword, not only in India, but throughout the globe. And a lot of schemes and a lot of sessions and conferences, or many policy decisions are being taken. So we have, this is the one, total food waste per year in India, it is 68 million tons, as compared to China, it is 91 million tons. And the per year one, I have already said that it is 50 kg per person per year. So that way, and one more information it gives, that among all the type of category of food, we have fruits and vegetables maximum loss 45%, fish and followed by this fish and seafood, then cereals, then dairy products, and meat and poultry. And while knowing this, we know that how inefficient it is, that we are wasting so much of resources, land, energy, everything, labor, including labor, and these are all ultimately getting wasted. But while doing this, while analyzing, we get to know that there are three types of food waste can be categorized. One is absolutely avoidable food waste, which can be avoided, but generally we don't do it partly, and that is at the consumer's level, which is absolutely avoidable, and that is a major percentage of what the data says. Then the second group is the potentially avoidable or possibly avoidable food waste. Can be cooked, but because of the different lifestyles and cultural differences, we don't use it. And third one is unavoidable. So unavoidable, we cannot do anything, but we can focus on avoidable and possibly avoidable food waste. So having said this, or based on this discussion, we can now go for the impact or outcomes of this huge content of food waste. So it is not just financial. So far we discussed about the financial or the volume, but also we have environmental pollutions or whatever effect to produce that much, how much fertilizer and pesticide we are using. And of course, the most important component here is the greenhouse gas emissions. When it is wasted, when it is consumed, there is absolutely no problem. But when it is not consumed and it is subjected to landfill or composting or whatever form, the present form is not really acceptable with that GHG component. And next slide, we will be knowing how much GHG it is generating. And this vast amount of food actually at present going to landfill, which is creating this global warming. Now, because of all this, now the world has recognized that there cannot be any sustainable, we have been talking about sustainable development, this, that, but there cannot be any sustainable and developed country that can truly exist without tackling this particular component, because this particular slide will give us again another very difficult information, that if food wastage were a country, then it would be the third largest emitting country in the world. That means, suppose the amount of food waste we are having in numbers, that is emitting the greenhouse gas, which the third largest country would have emitted in the world if we have after China and USA. And the amount there is in gigaton carbon dioxide equivalent that they have given, but it is emitting about 6 to 8% of total greenhouse gas emission of the world, means in a proportion of globe. Then that actually, when it has been calculated, it has been seen that the global warming, the road transport emissions, we say, suppose there is an amount, then this food waste greenhouse gas contributes about 87% of that road transport emission only. So without our realization, we say that these road transports are the major sources of pollution or this greenhouse gas emission in India. General people view is that, but see, food waste actually is contributing about 90% of that load. So this this highest carbon that we have seen is actually at the consumption phase. What has been seen that from production to consumption, as along the food supply chain, when the waste moves, the maximum greenhouse gas generation will be in the consumption phase, because it includes all the virtual things what has been added. That means, as we know that for a cup of tea, we are taking a cup of tea, but for preparation of a cup of tea, we use 50 cups of water. That is the resource in form of water is used. Similarly, we have other components, because in order to have that, the packaging of tea, the production of tea powder, everything that required about 50 cups of water. That I think all of us, we know, whoever are there in the group. So that generally we call that as virtual requirement. So that goes on increasing with as the food moves from the production to consumption stage. So that is the reason why one should be very careful, or the policymakers or the researchers or whoever in the field is, they should, the wastage in the beginning phase, that means production phase, processing, post-harvest, that is all right, but that should definitely be avoided to be wasted towards the end of that. But unfortunately, the present scenario or the true fact is reverse of that. That means the maximum we have seen that household generates about 60% of the waste. So that only has created all these chaos. And our UN Sustainable Development Program, we all know about it. Now there is a target, goal 12. There are two goal 2 and 12. The goal 2 important because zero hunger, which has direct relation with the wastage. We have seen in India, there are so many wastage, but in addition to that, we have lots of hunger. And the goal 12 says responsible consumption and production. So how it has to be done? They have targeted something that by 2030, that per capita global food waste, they will bring it half of that. That means now it is 121. Now they will bring it to 60. But that 60 actually India's average, India's this per capita, that thing is 50 only. And the second one is that they will substantially reduce waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse. So these are the two important sustainable development goals from UN. So that I just quoted so that it has got the link how to do it. Then we come to what is circular economy. We all know, whoever is there now in the group, in the program now, we all know what is circular economy. I just prepared this, thought that few students will be coming. Now, this is the model. We are interested in raw material, energy, and water. And these are the things that we have to first reduce the volume loss to waste. That means production and the post-harvest phase has to be taken care of. Then if there is surplus in the edible, then we'll reuse it. And after that part goes, it is not coming within the edible form, then we of course have to go for the waste use by different following different means to use the byproducts. Then this is one frame, or everything in one frame to say how the edible and inedible these food components, they move or they flow in different ways. Starting with food production and harvesting, these are the different phases. So post-harvest activities, this actually has been done by a group of scientists from, I'm forgetting now, I've given the reference. They have done a very good review on this food waste. So I collected these from them, from different phases: industrial, processing, manufacturing, packaging, then storage phase. Each and every phase has got some edible component and has got some inedible component. So how that can be used in a proper way, the entire flow chart gives some big kind of guideline, this one, at which phase how to take the edible one and how to take the inedible one, so that we can ultimately recover the whole thing and reach up to that circular bioeconomy or economy, whatever ideas we have to have that. Then this is a particular flow chart. It gives possible products that can be developed at different phases. If we have cropping inputs like those crop residues, we have some fruits, vegetable trimming, those who are not edible, that can go to compost, fertilizer, or we can prepare char. And then industrial products, of course, we have so many processes, unit operations, we can go for generation of biofuel and all those energy components. But to me, because I am food process engineer, I think that high value product is that part we will be more interested in, because we want to reduce the waste during those first 2-3 phases: production, processing, and before distribution. So that way we can extract nutraceuticals, all those phytochemicals which are very, very important these days. Now starch and fiber and other additives we can extract from those wastes. These are actually the high value products. Then of course pharmacological agents and polymers and fiber, non-food fiber can also be extracted. Then the edible ones which are of bit low quality, we can go for the animal feed. Then feeding humans, that is the first component actually, which has been given at the end. Whatever edible component is there, that can be circulated to first of all to the rescued food, or in form of donation, or maybe reprocessed. So those things, it has been started even in Odisha. People have started, BMC has started this work, that can collect the food which are not being used from different outlets and then redistributing that. That is the first priority, in fact, of course, this is there at the end. Then I have listed few processes, few unit operations or methods by which all these things can be carried out: mechanical conversions, chemical conversions, thermal conversions, and biological conversions. Of course, all these are, except few, I think most part belongs to the area of Dr. Mahendra Mahanti. He is working on this. I think he can give us some light when we discuss. So these are the methods which are generally used to create value, as we discussed, to produce some of the products, to create some value products. Then this is one example: zero waste processing technology of pineapple. Likewise, thousands of examples are there. They are researched by different groups, and I think there is no doubt of any technology that we can have a zero waste processing technology for different food products. Technologies are there, but there are few other limitations, or we can say constraints, which we are listing as challenges for today's discussion. It is not being done. For a few products, people are doing, but for few, it is not being done. For pineapple, like, it is each and every part of it can be used, starting from peel to its pomace, core, and even crown. It may be food application, food product, it may be non-food product. So that's how for each and every product, every agricultural commodity, if there is the technology available and how to do it, if some combinations will be there, then I think it will not go beyond the processing phase to have any food waste, if the consumers are properly trained and how to save the material. Then as per UNEP 2021, they have decided that this should be the pyramid or prioritization. We have to divert the food waste from existing landfilling. So this is the pyramid, the preference prioritization chart they have prepared, that first we have to try to reduce, then reuse, reduce, and the leftover reuse, take it to hungry people. Then the slightly low quality, we can take it to feed animals. Industrial, then industrial uses, of course, for generation of oil and fuel and energy, etc. And then the last but one priority is composting. And of course, the last one, there is no priority, but if you cannot do anything, we have to go for the landfill or incineration. So these are the things laid out by UN as well as FAO. And for prevention of the loss at the first stages, these are some of the advanced techniques. The same thing, actually, the previous slide what I discussed, but few techniques have been given, that some process control automation has to be there, smart packaging, so that the consumers know that when to eat, when to the expiration date, etc. can be seen, and just before expiry date, some action may be taken, or maybe at a low price that can be sold, or maybe donated to the hungry people, like that. Then similarly, reusing, repricing can be done. It can be like buy one, get one things we have here, such type of things can be done. Then of course, we have recycling, recovery. Those phytochemicals can be recovered, good nutrients can be recovered, and all those industrial fuel, energy, those things can be recovered, and ultimately we have the disposal. So this is the preference prioritization serial. It should be done. Any policymaker or any research worker, or maybe those who are executing functionaries from the government, they can take this. Then coming to the major thing, actually, why we have not been able to do it. There are so many possibilities, ideal schematic diagrams we have seen, but why that has not been possible to go in a long way. This effective conversion of food to valuable resources is often challenged by its heterogeneous nature of edible and non-essential waste and high moisture content. I remember 5 years back, nothing was there in Odisha. In Bangalore, probably they had started keeping those green waste dustbin and brown dustbin, like that, and then just to segregate at the consumer level. But this is actually one of the most difficult and next to impossible type of task, where we are not able to segregate the waste, for which the follow-up or the whatever processes cannot be carried out. Even if it is carried out, the efficiency is very, very low. And for animal feed also, there are some challenges like high microbial load will be there in this food, and then there are some anti-nutritional factors, how to remove them, and coordinating all these develop animal feed and with cost effectiveness in that, those have become very, very challenging. People are doing, but then challenges are still there. Then how to collect, the most important, actually third one should be the most important one, how to collect, where to store all these food waste in such a huge volume, then how to cook them or how to treat them. And because of different cultural lifestyle, different food habits, different combinations, so these actually have become a actually huge hurdle in proper food waste management. And in addition to that, we all know the pandemics, the disasters, and many other things, they also contribute to spontaneous or instant or maybe sudden food loss and food waste, where people are not in a position to save their food. So those things are also, they contribute a bit to the this food waste. Then for compost also there are challenges if we do it ideally with proper efficiency, because while composting we have number of products, so huge number of huge sources of these odor formation is there because of different combination of different food sources. So also there is leachate production, and handling of these two is a bit challenging. Then we come to the industry products like generation of energy, then fuel, biofuel. There are challenges for which still the mega projects are running, researchers are still in the laboratory, and to the best of my knowledge, whatever publications I have gone through, majority of pre-treatment studies are limited. Those have not been standardized because so many food products are there. One pre-treatment method is not suitable to a combination of this food waste. For a single one, it is possible, where we are not able to segregate also. And these whatever studies also have been done, that has not been validated at the field level. So particularly for hydrothermal liquefaction process, these technological and economic challenges are there. I think the other industrial biofuel things also, there are economic challenges. I think Mohendra can give better input on this. But I think among all these, whatever collections I could have, I think anaerobic digestion is relatively less cost effective thing, and it is giving the products which are acceptable by the general mass. I think that is one of the things can be continued, or maybe some other decision, like comparing to other processes, that there can be a decision that whether that is the only thing one should, inevitable thing that we should accept, or some other things also we can go for, like food waste based biorefinery also. So many constraints that transport, the cost of transportation, minimizing production cost, and what is the reactor performance whenever there is a combination of different wastes, the efficiency becomes a huge constraint. So considering that these industrial production, we also see that so many industries have not come up. So these challenges have to be tackled. And what are the solutions? Maybe my seniors who are here, we can discuss on this issue in vivid. Then what I could actually compile, I can say summarized from different papers, that there is a huge role for government also, because as per the instinct of people, I don't know out of India, but in India particularly, unless otherwise there is a legislation, there is a regulation, there is an enforcement of things, laws, we don't learn things. So that is very much important in order to make it possible on certain things like wastage, not wasting food. First of all, at the consumer level, huge awareness is required. I have put it at the last, but I think this is the first one. One should they prioritize that consumers should be properly, they should be aware on all these things, that how the food waste changes and what should be the portion size we should order and what should be the portion we should cook, and what are its importance and what are its implications, negative implications for our future generation. That is very, very important, because the majority maximum waste also at that level. But then from the government side, there should be a clear vision that region wise, what are the products we have, what are our eating styles, what are our lifestyles. Based on that, we can actually have a plan, and the corresponding stakeholders can be maybe taken into the group, and then think of storage, condition, logistic, creating value products, so that during the first 2 phases only the wastage will be less. And then maybe some economic incentives can be given to people who are interested to set up business on circular bioeconomy mode. And the whoever is there for urban management, like we have BMC, they should be strengthened to take care of these waste properly, because in Bhubaneswar now there are so many ways of campaigning and promoting how we will separate the wastes and how we should put the deposit our waste at certain places. But the management system has to be that capable and that efficient, and that is essentially required. And of course, the regulation and legislation can only make it effective. Otherwise, we will only talk and nothing will happen, at least not in India, not in Odisha. And some case studies I have collected while going through. I thought that let me see what are the successful startups or maybe companies which are there. I got few Australian companies. This is the list. All these companies are engaged in circular economy or bioeconomy in action, and some of them are very big companies with huge turnover. Not that they are very small ones, but this is how they are engaged in circular economy. The first 2 are actually they are doing social work, but while doing that, also they are actually earning. First 2 on the OUAT, and I never knew this, but this natural evolution food, the founder himself had a problem of gluten, and then he had a company of banana production and that business of banana fruits. But then they realized that the waste banana they used to throw, and then they started preparing banana powder, which is actually gluten-free. And now the entire company is having maximum profit out of that one. Similar, the second one, they are going for the disposing solid and liquid wine making residuals, and also they have gone for some circular economy on that. And the other one, sugar byproducts, molasses, bagasse, etc. They are using, as I said, a lot of all the technologies are existing. There is no deficiency or lacking of any technology, but using them and making profit out of it. This is one example. And the last one, they are preparing compost, organic waste, carbon-rich compost or mulch, etc. So these are the different case studies with respect to the possibility of the business, what I thought that I should discuss. And as I read, I think I came to this conclusion that if we focus on food waste and circular models grow, then also new businesses, new markets, and new solutions will come up. So with this, I would like to request everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Kalpana. This was a very interesting presentation. So let me request the audience to raise their hand in the reaction button, using the reaction button, so that I can call their name for questions or discussions if they have. Is that okay, Kalpana?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can take down the presentation. I don't think we need that one anymore.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Prabhat, yes.
मैडम मु सकाळे आजी जणैथिली आपनकू जे पंजाब रे वर्तमान आपण ए ग्रुप रे 3 जण फूड इंजीनियर अछंती, सब्यसाची भी अछि, बालुकेश्वर भी अछि। आमे देखंतु आमे धरंतु सपुरी हला कि आंबो हला ता धरु आमे कोन तयारी करबाटा जानि छे माने आचार फाचार किंतु ए जो एथुरु हमें केमती कोन तयारी करि परिया ए जो
capsicum sir, I think both of them they know. Sabyasachi also and Balukesar also, they must be knowing. It's a very common technology. We can shred them as per the market demand. Like suppose hame chowmein खाउछे ताको पतला पतला करिवा दरकार. If हमें chili paneer खाइबा ताले ताको square piece करिवा. So as per that we can cut them, and this is dehydration technology. We can dry them and can be used later on. There are technology available so that the maximum quality with maximum possible quality preservation, those technologies are there. That is there, but only thing that as I discussed the constraint that the producer and the processor and of course the consumer, there is a lack of coordination. I think Sabyasachi and Balukesar, they can add if I am wrong.
Thank you. Anybody else? Balu, you have a comment? Or Sabyasachi?
They are all muted. They are all muted.
Yeah, they can unmute. They can unmute themselves. Prabhat, you can lower your hand or your. Okay, Balu, you had a comment. We can't hear you, Balu. You have to turn on. Something is wrong.
The problem, maybe he doesn't know that there is a huge distress sale of capsicum in India, particularly in Punjab. Today morning, there is a news that it is getting sold in 1 rupee per kg. So Professor is asking whether there is any technology so that we can save that. Sir, this is a very easy thing actually. There has not been any coordination with the processor, or maybe they did not speculate that such kind of distress sale will be there, particularly capsicum, because we call that as a value product in India. So that way, even I was surprised to know this today morning. But there are technologies available. We can dry them and later on we can rehydrate and we can use it.
While you were making the presentation, I had a question. Okay. Yes, so sir. From our childhood, we have been told that, or not childhood maybe, but when we are studying, we have been told that food is biodegradable, right?
Yes.
So essentially, when we throw it in a landfill or something, it shouldn't be naturally biodegradable. Now, from your presentation, I realized that it's actually not so. I mean, we can. It doesn't biodegrade. If it doesn't biodegrade properly or whatever it is, then why did we learn that it is biodegradable?
Sir, it is biodegradable, but during that process, lot of methane is getting generated, and in open field or open landfill, either we incinerate, means burn openly, or landfill automatic process also, this methane is directly going to atmosphere only, na? But if we compost it airtight, like we are collecting biogas, we are collecting methane only, methane component maximum in that, and we are using it for some purpose from a closed container, say. But when it is in landfill, it is openly there. The methane is just getting mixed with the atmosphere, so that pollutes. That is the environmental.
But in landfill, what is the scope of production of methane? It's an aerobic degradation.
Sir, aerobic, but the methane generation will also be there, na?
Okay. Anything under the water?
Yeah, actually, sir, can I add something?
Yes.
Yeah, please. Actually, if you landfill, you are telling that this is aerobic, not aerobic. Actually, if you close it, upper portion is aerobic.
Yes.
Below portion is anaerobic. So again, actually, what you tell, sir, CH4 is more dangerous than carbon dioxide.
25 times.
1 kg of CH4 is equivalent to 25 kg of carbon dioxide. So, so actually, that is the major reason. Again, anaerobic is not so easy. Anaerobic condition, it's required a lot of things: temperature, pH, your volatile matter. Lot of things are required. It's actually to maintain that anaerobic condition is not so easy. It can be possible, but you require a lot of a lot of exercise for that. That's why actually you know that why biogas, Balu will tell, Balu has visited a lot of biogas plant in India. Why it failed? He knows because I have contact with Balu when he was in somewhere in working in biogas plant. So a lot of things are there. That is a separate things. Madam has told bioeconomy, actually economy, circular economy. Actually, we are more concerned with economy. Now we are concerned with life cycle analysis, not economy. Both environmental as well as economy will be considered in that case. So life cycle analysis play a major role here. Now the government all over world, people are thinking about life cycle analysis. So that is a new topic has come, and we agricultural engineers are more fittest candidate for that.
Well, we say that, Mahendra, we say that all the time, but what is happening is we are not being proactive in implementing those. That's the problem I see. Okay, we are talking
sir.
a lot. Agricultural engineers are talking a lot about all these things. Okay, but nothing is being done. Even in US, hunger is a big component, right? And food, people don't get a lot. I mean, I would say almost 20% of population are hungry, remaining hungry. And US being a big capitalistic country. Okay, but my point is that what we thought, that means what I'm thinking is like 20 years or 25 years back, food waste was less compared to what we are having today. And that has created a problem. Is that a right assessment?
Yes, definitely,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Actually, just now, actually, we are previously we are shortage of even rice. Now we have excess of rice production in India. Do you know that actually now the government is planning for the actually rice to convert to ethanol also. So that is a lot of things are coming.
Sir, while just Mahendra, I'm just saying, while analyzing this, what I think you also maybe many of us may be knowing that these wastage also, it depends on the income group. What has been seen, what has been found out, like from this survey, that higher income group, they waste more the talent.
Definitely.
And huge quantities of bread. One of the company I had listed, that they are using their waste bread, means bread, outdated bread or after expiry date. They are using those in a wine making this thing. What they are saying, wine making or something they said, breweries. And the other one, but the low income group, it has been seen that the whatever loss is there during the first phases. Similarly, developed countries towards the tail end, but on developing countries during the first phase, because we do not have a proper storage facility, we do not have the logistics, whatever is required. So the loss is during those first 2-3 phases. So all these things are actually to be taken into account, and there are so many possibilities or solutions, but solutions will fit as per the country type, the number of whatever the income group people are there, what is their lifestyle, what is their cultural things, what is their choices of food. Depending on that, this is actually a holistic thing. Actually, maybe government or maybe some NGO or some groups should come forward and design with a proper vision. Then only there will be success in reducing the waste. Otherwise, it is so much expensive, that means not cost effective, that I think very difficult. That is the reason why probably things are not getting solved.
Ashok Babu, Ashok Sinha Roy.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. We can't hear you properly. You are breaking up.
Can I? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, you are audible.
Let me introduce. I'm also Prabhat batch, 1983 pass out. So I have not worked in the lab. Say I'm not a scientist, but I'm the land. What the madam is speaking. frequently lab to land. So I'll share two things with my experience. To take a entrepreneurship awareness camp in different engineering institutes, which has been aided by Government of India Science and Technology, where I found that third-year students are being taught about MSMEs or how to be an entrepreneur. Where there starts here with that, startups were not the word previously I was working. We start with some idea. How they describe the idea, just once again. Sometimes Charles, now the monarch of UK, he was the Prince Charles at that time, he visited India. And he was interested to know the Dabbawala in Mumbai. You know of Dabbawala? So
Yes, sir.
Dabbawala used to distribute the management, hold the management system. You were astonished how the right person in the right, from the kitchen, it goes to his table for his entire this and say meal in the lunch time. And when it returned back, they also returned back to home. Now, interestingly, there's somebody, he told Harvard University to engage in this to see the management. How this Dabbawala don't miss hardly 1 or 2%. But they came out with an interesting thing. There was a food loss. I'm coming to your point. That what you are told, it is a loss for in the part of the consumer. Then sometimes there is a party, etc. Somebody has brought from home, so the belly is full. So we keep this thing. Then these things get destroyed, and when it reaches home, then it is thrown away. But they started, and the NGO also, the government, you rightly told you, that is a lack of coordination. Then there was a very simple thing they devised. They started with a sticker. It is called SHARE, share. The share, everybody was trained like this, that if you don't take all the meal, you have one chapatis or bhat, dali sabu rohegala, seti likhi diyantu, share. They will segregate. The NGO will come and segregate from Dabbawala. These are the things, it is not empty. So we'll take these things and they will go to the hunger streets or like that, hunger basti. So this was one about that. Last one I will tell you that this year potato cultivation, my question is this. The potato cultivation has so much in West Bengal that it has crossed the limit and there is no space for this cold storage to store. Now it is like Prabhat was focusing today, 1 rupee capsicum. It is also sold in, if you go to the countryside, you will see it is sold 5 rupees or 6 rupees a kilo. So the farmers are wasting their loss also. But I'll tell a very good example in a food park. Madam, you may please be known that there is a good food park in Howrah. I was worked with KPMG. These people also worked with me, Deloitte and other groups. So I found PepsiCo. It is an international company and also in the American USA company. So PepsiCo has their food court here. The PepsiCo, what they now have, every time I reach there, I talk interest from my side, my angle, my agriculture engineer. So they have the farmers chosen and they give the seeds, the certified seeds, and they take back whole the amount is being produced in the land, and they get the agriculture engineering, farm machinery inputs, etc., everything, and they minus the amount of the service charges and take back the whole potatoes as per their requirement, total. So there is no loss for the farmer side. Now my question to you, whether you have thought about other than coordination, etc., I understand there is a lot of, last of all, I will tell you the CSIR labs. We try to touch all the labs in a particular portal, which is called MSME Facilitation, Technology Facilitation Center. But there also we failed not to up to the mark. And very sorry to say that CMRI Mechanical in Durgapur, I have given them money, but they could not do the field trial, which was taken by the takers actually. So my question is, where is the corporate farming or this type of word is coming into your world of education or research side? That is my question.
Sir, exactly, I didn't get the question, but both the examples.
Corporate farming means that PepsiCo is to do, they take back the entire produce and they used to guide, they have some agronomists, they have some the post-harvest technology people. So they engage these people there, and they take back the entire production of potato back to their plant.
So then, sir, they must be going for some value addition then, or they are selling it.
No, PepsiCo, you made me know. Then they produce these wafers, then the potato chips and etc. etc. You
Actually,
understand this? The Lays. You better understand.
Lays, yes.
This is a PepsiCo company. Sorry, I have not told you the brand name.
Sir, actually, what even
it is in four places in India. Sorry to interrupt. It is in Howrah, it is in Noida, and in Chennai, in the 4 parts of India. Okay, continue.
For us also, the actually in Odisha, whatever potato industry, chips industries are there, they collect potato from West Bengal because the processable variety only they are growing. West Bengal is growing. We also have the same problem in Odisha.
That is fine. That is fine. We have to share all these things.
So those things are now
I'm talking about this, how this farm waste, etc. And I think, have you come across? I worked in KVK also. We used to bring people. I've forgotten the name. They used to come and tell the farmers going to the in the evening. They have make some shows. How to reduce the crop waste in the field, farm waste actually.
And now also, sir, the same thing is going on. People are trying, but this gradually, this is a transition phase. Personally, I feel this is the transition phase. I think we will need some more years to come up with the results. But things are going on. People are now everybody is interested in, even hybridization also is going on for processable varieties and cultivation also. We have an exclusive potato scheme here dedicated to that, and they're doing all this. Not only potato, for so many products we have, but the changes have not been very significant. I think it will take some time. Gradually, maybe see some results.
Okay. I have taken so much time from you.
No, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ashok Babu. Balu, your turn.
Yeah. Is it audible?
Yes.
Okay. Namaskar, Samastongo. बहुत बढ़िया presentation, ma'am. So, sorry, more intermittent interaction. I really like one of those slides you presented, like what is the food loss at different locations, starting from industry and then household. Then your topic touching on, circular economy and a little bit of sustainability, Mahanti sir kohile, which is about the life cycle assessment. So these are big topics, from my experience, as I see from past 15, 20 years, we always take examples from FAO or WHO, how things work. But my interest always is on the consumer behavior side. I mean, I think you touched upon a little bit about lower income, higher income. So think about for a second, on the macroeconomic side, you're talking about the developed countries and developing countries, the capitalist and socialist, all those things. Just for a second, let's forget about that macro side. Let's come down to micro side. Take as an action items, I have seen in some of those case studies. Now think about focusing just on Bhubaneswar as an example. Now, we have an institute, and we have some non-government organization. We have some society where people serve. So food waste is only a very minor percentage about processing. You can only reduce the food waste very certain percent. If you go back to your slide, I think it's showing 1% or processing or that. But the majority of that is based
household,
on
household,
yeah.
consumer.
Correct. So the consumer behavior, which I think it's not the agricultural engineer or any food engineer can really focus if you want to solve. So as a collective action item, we have to work with either people who can go back to this food waste utilization. So now think about a food bank. I'm giving an example. We have a lot of products that can be past expiry dates. There are a lot of confusion in US actually. If there is a product, it says it's expired by a certain date, it's best by a certain date. And there are so many things. In some products, you say it's enjoy by a certain date. Then people can confuse like what exactly is that. Yes. Now the food bank, what the food bank says Safety wise, the product says it's expired by this date, but quality wise, it may not be, that bad. So the food bank takes that products and give it to somebody else. That is the first thing I have seen is very effective where you are talking about the food waste. Otherwise, that will go under the drain or somebody will throw that in trash. So that is one example I gave you as a food bank. The same way, if you trickle down to microeconomic side, think about the institute, think about the city as a whole, think about the facility as a whole. Now, all has to work collaboratively, not going on the top high level, but at the lower level as a case study. So now we can think, all what you talk about, life cycle assessment, sustainability, biocircular economy at a micro level. And then that action plan can really think about, how much you can reduce the food waste and go on top. And the consumer behavior too. If I'm going to a restaurant as an example, I don't want like a huge portion size like in US. And they will, understand more than me, this big, even you don't eat it, you just throw it. So that is my personal thought, if there is any action item, we have seen the problem. Now, what is the action item that can be really think about, in the area at the micro level, not at the top level? So that can be a good case study for, suggesting something at the future at the bigger scale.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think I also said I might have missed while giving the constraints and the suggestions that I always kept that at the last because that is the tail end of food supply chain. But this consumer awareness is the most important one, and you'll be very happy to know that in Bhubaneswar, only 15-20 days back, the BMC commissioner has given a statement that they have opened 10 outlets with the help of one NGO, and they are collecting. They have developed some tie kind of thing with the restaurants, with the hospitals, and four institutions like this, and marriage halls, of course. And then these NGO have engaged 10 units. They are collecting the food, the surplus food, and they are giving it to some orphanage. We have some orphanage in Bhubaneswar also, and they are also giving to, they are sending it to hospital. Maybe some processed and some unprocessed, like that they are saying. But it is just a beginning. I think things will happen. And as I said, this is the transition phase. Let us look forward to a better food cycle, not only in Odisha, also in India, and also in the global, in that term, that things will pick up, and we will not discuss on food waste anymore in future.
Okay, so we just ran out of time, but I just wanted to kind of cap it up with a very, very interesting talk. We learned something that food waste biodegradation is not the right approach, to leave it for biodegradation. Then Balu brought up, and you both brought up, actually, Kalpana and Balu, both of you brought up a very significant point is, which I have been harping for a long time, is the social, cultural, and political economy controls how we recycle or reuse or develop that circular economy, which can be a topic of discussion in a later stage. But today we had a great talk, and thank you very much, Dr. Rayaguru, for your talk. And all those who participated today. Okay, this is recorded, so I'll share it with everyone, and then we look forward to the next one, which will be from Dr. Deepak Das. He's a 1983 batch. He will talk about soil and water conservation or water conservation practices. Okay, so see you next month.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone. I feel very happy that I could talk to Balu also face to face. Of course, I used to chat with you and many other people, almost everyone knew, I think, except Mohendra. I am very happy that I agreed. I agreed. Then I thought that so many seniors are there. Why? I don't know. I don't know anything. What I will speak like that, I was thinking. But speaking, that is the separate side. But it is very nice to interact. And I think looking forward to even some discussions on, again, hot topics or the topic of interest. Thank you everyone for patient hearing and giving me this opportunity. With special thanks to the bhai. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
Namaskar, Balu.